And welcome back to Career Build Series, episode 217. And so, installed pretty much all the ADFs. I started a new save here, and so we're with Proteus here. And so, did a little something last episode that I want to make sure I prevent in the future is I put the gear up while we're sitting on the ground. And I also want to see if I can test and change the tail wheel. So I'm going to do just a quick here of building. And then what I want to do is I want to navigate the ADFs from here at FJ Warner Dock up to Tajin in the Arctic. That way, test out all the ADFs, make sure they're working, make sure that I can navigate effectively. So let's work on the gear first. I'm going to make a little list. I'm going to try not to forget what I'm doing and get all stressed out because I have no clue what the hell I'm doing. So let's go ahead and so we're going to start with doing gear squat switches. That's what they're called in real life. They're not going to work as squat switches here. Then I want to redo tail gear. I've been talking about that for a little while. And then I want to verify ADF antenna. All right, good. So let's go do that, and then we should be good to roll. So first thing, so what a squat switch is so when your gear are on the ground, they compress in real life. So think of your suspension. So the suspension, when the wheel is in the air, of course, the suspension is at max extension. And then when the wheel becomes compressed, what it does is it pushes what's called a squat switch. Again, you're squatting. Think about squatting, how you bend your knees. So the gear's knees bend. You have these switches. Think about it if you had a switch on the back of your knee, and when you bent your legs, it would touch your calf. And so every time if you were pulling yourselves up by your arms, your legs would be dangling while the switch wouldn't be touching. When you get down and you're on your legs, it would touch and it would tell you, hey, your feet are on the ground. So you have squat switches in the gear. Well, we don't have that in real. We can't put those in game. We could theoretically do it, but we're not going to. And so what I'm going to do instead is I have a distance sensor here. This is the distance sensor I use for all of my distance calcs. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in, and I need to find the gear panels. And so essentially, what is this panel that's not hooked to anything? Oh, bilge. Okay, I haven't got to that yet. So let's find where this gear panel is. It is here. There's one there. Okay, so what I want to do here is I want to look at it really quick. Hopefully there's a node I can just throw on there. There's not. Okay, so let's make it one wide, see if I break anything. I don't think I will, but checking. Okay, that's good. That's perfect. I can do it without breaking something. So let's grab it. Let's go ahead and add a logic node, and that will be, make sure I didn't have it on there already. Number input distance sensor. All right, distance sensor. And so what this is going to do is this is going to prevent us from raising the gear when the aircraft is when it's sitting on the ground. So it's not going to allow us to raise the gear when the aircraft's sitting on the ground. This will actually work all right in the water. I was trying to think which way because when you're in the water, the distance sensor reads through the water all the way to the ground. So what this is going to allow us to do here is the doors we don't have to worry about. What we need here is the gear pivots. So what we need here is we're going to just put in and. So what's that? Okay. So we're going to go like this, grab this, CV. I'll do 12, which is the actual gear switch itself. And if the distance sensor is, and we'll just say like something like 5 meters, 15 feet off the ground, something like that. So if the distance sensor is greater, oh, no, that's not what I want. Yeah, so if the distance sensor is greater, then it will put 5 for 5 meters. And that will get us in there. So there we go. Distance sensor greater than 5 meters. And we have done 12. That will give us the numerical switch that lets us pivot our gear. So I'm just going to grab this, Control-C that. We'll update this, and I'll go ahead and make sure I connect up my distance sensor. So now I can't raise my gear unless we are about 15 feet off the ground. And so we'll go ahead over here, and I'll extend this one. And I can just paste in the code, and it's not a huge deal. So there. Number, input, distance, sensor. All right. That goes there. And then this will just go like so. And where's distance sensor? Right there. Up. And we'll stick this down here. That's that. Update this. And I need to connect it. And so this is going to keep our gear from coming up when we do not want it to. All right, let's find the tail wheel. I might have to move tail wheels logic just so that it doesn't... I don't know where I put it, so I have to find it. Okay, it's up here in the wing. Nope, where are you at? No, that's the... it was right here. Okay, so it's in the tail, so I should be able to... yeah, it's out of the way. I was smart with doing that and didn't put it right where I didn't want it. So tail gear goes in, and tail gear, a little bit more logic. Add a node. Again, same stuff, distance sensor input. And so this makes it a little bit not only more realistic, but it's going to give us some functionality so I can't accidentally raise the gear on the ground again. Okay, so distance sensor there. And of course, this is moved a half a grid off. Wish they'd just make it so you can't move it a half a grid. And so what do I need here? Gear pivot right here. So gear lock. Okay, so I don't want the lock to go either. Why is the gear lock? I have to double check this. I might have to fix the other ones now. So that's 12, and that gives me this. And also the lock. I'll try to clean this up a little bit here, make this a little bit not so gross. All right, that's fine the way it is. So I need to check the locks on the other ones too, but that's going to make it so that, again, all my gear, tail wheel steering. Okay, so that's I have that for a reason. So I'm going to change up my tail wheel steering. That's one of the reasons that's there like that. Let's double check the locks on these. I probably should connect that too because I don't want them to unlock. They'll collapse. So where are we at here? Where's my lock? Lock release is here, so that just goes there. Good catch on that. And grab this one. Lock release there. And that now fixes that. So that's all set. Now we won't have that gear issue anymore. So cross that off. Always nice to cross things off of the list. Redo tail gear. So I'm going to save it right now before I do this because I might want to revert it. Okay, Proteus backup. Let's save it there. Yep, okay, that's good. Proteus. My named one's the most recent, so I just want to double check that. All right, so I'm not a huge fan of this gear. I also want to make it free castering, and I also want to make it so that I can be able to tow this. And so free castering, it essentially turns, it allows it to turn on its own. Let's see what I want to do. Do a connector. I have to check on this. When I put in the bigger tires, it's going to be a little bit different, so I have to double check the size. So free castering, it turns on its own. You do differential braking, and you can use the engine, the asymmetrical thrust I've been showing you, to turn. And so this will also allow us to tow it better. So in case I need to tow it somewhere with a vehicle, it'd be kind of fun to do some tugs and pull it out of the hangar with a tug and everything else. So that's pretty good there. Happy with that wheel size. That will do that. All right. So I need to quickly check the... I need to check and make sure that this is going to retract fine. So that's step one. And so make sure it retracts. And once I know that... see, the thing I literally just put in there is screwing us up now. Because I should have done this first. You know what we'll do here? I just need to do it on the tail wheel. I don't care about the mains anyway, so let's do a constant number. And I'll stick it here, and then this will be, that's a constant on. I grabbed the wrong one. Constant number. Stick it there. I'm going to make this like 100. It just needs to be over 15. Remember, that's going to be our... So I'm just going to cheat it, and instead of the distance sensor, it's going to read that. It's going to think it's off the ground. But, you know, ideally I would have done that before I screwed with it. So let's just make sure this retracts fine. Again, sometimes it retracts fine on the ground, then it wants to misbehave, so. Okay, so we're getting stuck here. When I get close, it fixes it, so that was causing issues before. Let's do this. Let's actually get rid of that. I want to manually see where this is hitting. So let's go back to distance sensor. Distance sensor will go here. That will go to distance sensor. Let's delete these. Let's get a throttle. Let's go here. And I'm just going to manually control, where are we at here? Trying to put something where I can see where we're at here. So let's stick it right here. Logic, go to the, where are we at here? Rotation target. I'm trying to see what I'm looking at. This is the one here. Okay, and then I just want to toggle. I just need to be able to unlock the gear. So I'm kind of undoing some things potentially for no good reason, but you know, it's again, a lot of this is just because I want to do it. And that'll do input electricity. I'm not going to screw around too much. All right, so I just need to see what I need to do with the gear to get them to orient fine. You know, when my player character is standing there, they're not jamming up. That's a physics issue with games, so it happens sometimes where if your character's close to a door or a moving body, it will either move or it won't. It could go either way. So see, door's coming up. And it's going to hit right there. But it seems to be fine. And I'm trying to see, can I go forward? Probably not. So right there is where it likes to hit. Now the problem is when I'm in the cockpit, it says, hey, I'm going to hit, I'm going to hit, I'm going to hit. And then I get over here and it decides it wants to work. So, like now it's jammed up. See, it's jammed now. So it wants to be jammed now. So that's a problem. I need to paint that too. So let's see. How to fix. Let's see if I can't change the size of these wheels just a hair to get them to grab. You know, if it's close. So right now they're at ones. Let's go to 50%. I don't really necessarily want them this small, but we'll see. See if they can now slip. You know, they're definitely too small at this point, but we'll see. I do also have an idea to make a single wheel there. I'm not digging the doubles really all that much either. So it definitely pushes there. I'm going to try to get it to stick. So that's working better with 50% on there. Let's try this. Let's do a little hokery. I've never really, this tail wheel's always given me some grief that I've never really loved the way it is. So I'm trying to play with it a little bit, get it where I want it. All right, so let's see. If I can go to the left, right on that. Okay. So let's do this. Go there. Let's cut here. I'm trying to think where I can cut and not cause myself problems. Because I have an XML block there. I don't want to screw with that too much. So let's go ahead and doing all this just so that it lines up properly and it stays connected so I don't have to screw with it too much. But so that's getting cut there. And then I'm going to go, so I'm going to jog this off to the side like so. That doesn't want to be colored from a grab. Okay. And then so hopefully this will work. I'm trying to think how many down I had this as. Don't think I can go that far down. You know, I like these rockets just because of the look of them, but by this point, you know, it looks funky now, or it's better, I think, to put a square block in there. Let's go wheel. And so this one's going to go straight up. It won't hit those sides, so I could probably go bigger wheel. I have to, don't want it that big. So that's pushing it over still, so I need to connect it here, which I'm not really thrilled with that. Let's try it anyway. Okay, so let's delete you. Stick that in there. Let's go ahead and we'll try a 5, see if I like a 5 that's shrunk it down. I can't pre-shrink it, so that's a problem. Let's try a 3. We can always make a 3 bigger to fill the space. All right, let's look at it now. So we got some clipping there. I can take the clipping out. That's fine. Okay, let's shrink it some. Probably there's no clipping or minimal clipping. So that has to be kind of, so we'll undo that. Ah, come on, get out of there, man. Turn the right direction. Should be dragging, it should be back 1, 2, so I have to move this back. I can't do all of that, I have to just do the tires. Like that. So it should be set back 1 anyway. Let's put these back together so they're the same color and they're merged. And then I need to go at this point, I kind of think I'm going to like piping better than these just for some. And I'll fix that with a pipe there. Yeah, I don't like this pipe showing there either. That's gross, but I'm trying not to be too particular. I want to get to what else I want to do this episode. So I need you there. Okay, good. So I need these helper blocks because I can't grab the sides, but I can fake it so that it looks like it's stuck there. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. Then I want to do this, undo you. You go like that. Then I take a pipe like this and I go like that. And then, so it's all just trickery trying to make this work. Trickery there. And then I need to extend you, and then I want to do a connector. Connector here like so. And then that's going to be my, how I tow this. So not ideal, but it's, I'm digging it, and I'm going to see if I can make it a little bit bigger now. Let's go see if we can't go up to 7.5. 7.5 is good. It doesn't have any clip in there. Make sure the color is all good. That's good. So I'm liking that, and it also allows me to hook on something. Let's spawn it. I like that better, I think. All right, let's test it, make sure it goes in. Watch it probably hang. And oh, it probably, did I set it back 1? I did set it back 1, so let's test it. Oh, now you want to jam up, don't you? Why is it jamming up? Why does it want to jam up now? Oh, it's hitting here. That's why. Okay, I can go up 1, so let's do this. So I have an XML block in there. That's one of the things it lets it have a little head start on going up without hitting anything. It gets rid of this collision here, and so what I need to do is can't go. I can go forward, I think. So let me try this. All right, let's go pipe. I'm gonna try to go forward of this like so. down, and then connect here. That's hitting the tire there, which is gross to me. So this is still going to come up, and that's fine. Okay, let's try this. I just need the door to get open enough to move. So let's do the same thing I just did. Right here. Let's try this, see if this works for me. Yeah, this is static stuff, you know. Could XML edit a pipe in there so it doesn't touch. I don't want to redo the door timing. It works, you know, I've had a lot of struggles with this tail wheel, and it's working now, and now I'm going to screw with it even more to make it so it doesn't work, you know. All right, let's try one more thing here, and then I'll just revert it, and I'll worry about that later. Trying to get this how I want it is the issue. Okay. And I'm going to have to go smaller on the wheel now. I'm going to end up with clipping issues here. But that's fine. Just go down a quarter on that. Go back to a 150 tire. Lost the extra grip I had on this, but that's not a big deal. So all I'm doing here is going here to here. These are all joined, so I don't need to screw with it. They're already the right color. So everything's the right color, so I don't need to worry about rejoining it. It's going to be faked anyways. All right, so this will then go there. That's in. That should hopefully give me the timing and the clearance. If not, I need to come back one more and grab further back. But hopefully this will get it. You know, if I don't like it, again, I can always fix it. It's not a big deal. I can just copy it off the other one and stick it right back on. So there we go. No clipping issues. Now I can grab it with a, you know, I can grab it with a, what do you call it, with a tug and move it. So that should hopefully work well. Let's go ahead and reconnect it. I want to do a final test, making sure the system will operate it fine. Okay, and so I want to go, and what do we have here? We have tail wheel steering, and I have gear pivot. So gear pivot goes to, where are we at? This one here, and then I need to go gear lock, release, spawn it. Let's test it in the cockpit again. We've had that issue 900 times where if I'm not standing right next to it, it doesn't want to retract properly. And so I have to fake that again. Of course, why didn't I think of that? Constant number. I need to put the constant number back on of greater than 15 or else I'm not going to get anywhere. So and then this will connect to distance sensor. Spawn that. See if I can't get the gear to raise up on me. So this is one of the things why it's important to do things in the right order. Like, you know, fixing that distance sensor thing later would have made it quicker and easier. Okay, perfect. So I was away and it went up fine. So that's good. Let's hook the distance sensor back up. Let's delete those off. Let's cross that off the list. Actually, what are we looking at time here? We're a little bit on time here. Let's I'll keep doing some building here. We'll get this going. Maybe I'll split it up into 2 episodes, I think. Distance sensor's coming up to distance sensor. Deleting off this. Okay, next thing I want to do is, so you have what are known as caster wheels. I talked about this a little bit before. They free rotate, and so they just kind of rotate back and forth, and you know, you're not manually inputting the controls to them, and so that allows you to do differential braking. So what differential braking is, say I want to take a left turn. If I press the brake on my left wheel, this wheel wants to slow down. This wheel still wants to go fast. So this one goes faster, this one goes slower, and we make a left turn, and the wheel will just turn like a shopping cart. You know, you're doing the same thing on a shopping cart, right? You keep your left hand stationary and you push forward with your right hand. Well, the shopping cart's going to turn left. You do the opposite, turns right, and so what I'm going to do is make the wheel do that. So I want a relay. Did I put a relay in here already? No. Okay. Thought I had stuck a relay back here for something, but I think I moved it. So let's go ahead and take a relay. Relay allows me to shut off electricity. It's not going to work with input electricity on, of course, so I have to screw that. Now, this is going to be selectable. And so we had this in the airlines on the Embraer. And so what allowed us to do was if we wanted to caster the nose wheel, like say when we were getting pushed out by a tug, the tug might want to go even more than 90 degrees on our nose wheel to push us around. And so they could move us in place, right? We have two mains. They'd actually pick up our nose wheel and put it on the cart, and then the cart could turn us past 90. So there is a button on the captain's side, and what that would allow you to do is remove the essentially, disengage the hydraulics, and that would allow you to free caster that nose wheel. And so I'm gonna do the same thing with my tail wheel. Is I'll still be able to steer with it, but when I want to, I can disconnect the electricity and it will free caster. And so what I'm going to do is now the electricity is going from here to the top of this relay, and then it's going here to the there. And so I'm going to actually put two buttons. I'm going to do a panel out here, so when we're towing it, I can do it. So right, where do I want it? Right, here's good. And so this is going to allow me to free caster my nose wheel. It actually should be this color, I think. Just trying to get all these interior colors the same. That's just to cut down on the shapes it has to make. Oh, come on. Click on you, and then it's going to be... I'll just do one, so... we'll do... No, it needs to be a button. So it will be disconnect steering. So button, push, 1. Actually, I don't want it 1. I want it to be 5. Button push 5 would be disconnect tail wheel steering. That will disconnect tail wheel steering. No, it won't. Crap. The issue is right here. I would need to set the max power to 0. Huh, that's going to cause me problems. I'm trying to think. You see, the issue is this, I need this to free caster, but I also want to be able to, when it goes up into the well, it has to straighten out. It can't dangle in here and bang around. It has to kind of sit straight. So let me try something. I'm going to go bang on that tail wheel, see if I can't get it to free spin at all. If my character can move it, I know a tug can move it. The plane should be able to move it, but see, that strength is the issue here. Let's dial that strength way back. See if I can't get it to go. The issue is the only time I really want that motor to do anything is when it's putting it up in the well, is the time I definitely need it to work. So let's go max power. Let's go like 1%. Let's get the lowest I can get it so that I can still straighten the wheel out. Because when I raise the nose gear up or the tail wheel up, I need it to be straight. And so trying to push on this to get it to turn. All right, I'm going to abandon this notion. This isn't going to work. I like the new look of it better though, so I'm going to stick with that. So this is not going to work. So let's just get rid of that for now. I'll leave the relay in there. That's fine. And then I'll rethink of that later. All right, so let's call that it for the tail gear for now. Last thing, verify ADF antenna, and I'll start doing my transit, and then if it takes too long, finish it in the next video. So I need to double check this sucker. So this needs electricity, so that's going there just to hook them up to that sort of thing. That's hooked. Frequencies hooked. Transmit, we're not transmitting, we are receiving. That's going into, should be into the bearing panel right there. Radio receiver bearing panel. Okay, let's go ahead and save this Proteus here. Save it as this one. I have plenty of tail wheels modeled if I want to redo it, but let's go ahead, and I should have really taken off the jack stands before I did that. Save, but we'll just save it right again. All right, so I'm gonna go spawn us. I'm gonna go and start checking my first ADF. I put in a ton of these. Again, we're gonna transit from here to the Arctic. I didn't mean to rip that page out of my notebook. I didn't have symmetry on, so I need to do the jack stands again. So the symmetry business just gets very frustrating after a while. As you know, you think it's on, it's not on. It's just, that's the sort of stuff that slows you down. That sucks. All right, spawn you now, you devil. All right, so that, I still want to check our clearance is good. Okay, it's good. Because that would be a problem. So let's get in here and try to get moving here. So I'm not going to kick on my engines yet. I'm going to start crossfeed, and that needs to be done right off the bat. That shouldn't be turned on without master power. I don't know why that, oh, infinite electricity is on is why. That could have been the tail wheel problem. I had infinite electricity on. Crap. So I'll check the tail wheel on my own, and I'll show you guys. So we are currently at FJ Warner. So if we look at the list, FJ Warner's frequency 630. So I'm going to go ahead in here. We'll put in 630. 630, okay. And then the that's 356, so that's wrong. That's ahead of us. So that now let's click HR and see if it reads the right one. It doesn't. Okay. HR should give it to us. It's not. So distance 14 miles. It should be sitting right there. Let me make sure it's sitting right there. It is right there. See the shack? FJ Warner is where we're at. Are we at FJ Warner? We are at FJ Warner. One thing I should have done is I should have made a way to read the frequencies on these to double check, but okay, let me check it here again. Something's up, I'm not reading it. I have to make sure that everything's working with the bearing changeover. Let's see if there's one. Clark is close to us. Let's make sure it's not an issue with this one. I checked it before, but so 630. Where's Clark? Clark is close enough. We should be able to read Clark. Clark is 550. Clark is 550. 356. So I'm still not getting it. So something's up. I'm not reading this. So let's figure it out. Autopilot doesn't need to be on for that to work. No. So heading radial. Heading hold, I think works. Yeah, hold works. Bearing works. I know altitude hold works. That's to be deleted. That is good. The issue I'm having is with this not switching over. So I think this is not causing it to read. Oh no, this isn't reading either. No, that's fine. Yeah. Need HR. Okay, so HR is not causing this to switch over. Let's try something here. Let's do a waypoint. I'm going to do it I'm going to do close, do it here. Let's enter it in here and see if that changes. Okay, so that goes to 202. That's fine. 356. 202 is reading right there, so that's about 202. Let's put it right in front of us. Let's make sure that it's reading regular. It should be. All right, so 165, 165, that works. HR is going behind me, 356, so that's not working. I put in Clark as well. So Clark is, I'm not sure where Clark is, but it's not north. It's over here somewhere. Let's put in the one we're at. FJ is 630. All right, 630 is in there. So I need to get this to switch over to 356. So let's check this. So where it should be is it's either on the bearing panel or the autopilot panel. AP panel. Let's check the AP panel first. So if this channel is incorrect, so what's happening here is that's bearing there. Okay, I'd never hooked it up. Okay, so that's fine. So let's see, we have desired heading. So this switches us from heading hold to bearing radial. Then I need to be able to switch us from bearing radial to radio bearing. So I need to bring in the radio bearing, and I need to switch it. So I need to have both switch and that. So I need to figure out what channel BR is. So that's just me not finishing the hookup. So I'm just looking at my list here. Heading radio is 10, so channel 10 is what we want. Okay, and then I'm probably gonna have to bring in from bearing micro the radio. Where are we at? What's this? Where am I at here? Just trying to see where this connection point is there. Coming off the Lua. Yep, that's correct. So the Lua reads off that screen. And then this will go here. This will be channel 10 is heading radio. 10 is heading radio. So that will now swap that. So that's fine. That was just me forgetting to hook it up. I need to go off the bearing micro panel, probably read a channel to fill out this one. So let's go ahead and update this. Let's go to my bearing micro bearing panel. And let's read radio. So where is my radio here? So it's one of these. Radio receiver. Here's 10. So I'm already swapping it here. Okay, if it swaps here. Okay, I changed the way this works. So it should swap here. AP pass-through. So AP pass-through should come through. Then I should be switching from my radio receiver to there. So I already set this up. That's what's scaring me, is it's not working right. And then see these come up here. They're writing composites to 32. So yeah, I shouldn't have to write a separate signal. But it's not working. So all that matters is it's not working. So, okay, what is 32? So this is reading 32. So reading 32 is the bearing panel. Okay, so this is coming up here. All right, so what I need to do is I need to read the radio. So radio receiver posts on this channel 1 and 2. Okay, so channel 1 and 2 are coming there. All right, then we go there. So if I press 10, it should be reading out. So if I press 10, which is HR, it should automatically be switching to the radio in this panel before, and then it should be sending out the bearing too on channel 32. So I shouldn't need that other one. I already started figuring this out. AP pass-through. So I need to check the path from AP pass-through to here. Is now probably screwed up. Okay, so now let's look logic. AP pass-through is AP pass-through, so that makes up. What did I just do? Just delete something? Okay, that's scary when I do that. All right, so this I don't need really anymore, but I'm going to keep it for the second in case I do end up using it. So channel 32 should come through here. I need to find AP pass-through. AP pass-through. So AP monitor touch should be coming. So this should work. This should be coming through. It should go through AP pass-through. Okay. That's all it's doing. That's literally all it's doing. Okay, so essentially when I press that heading radio button, it should come through here as 10. And then because I touched the monitor, it goes through the Lua script. Let's double check, make sure I'm sending the right freak. AP HR. So I need to find HR. And I need to find which readout that is. So my Lua is not great. I'm trying to find the okay, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I didn't convert the number, I don't think. Okay, here's 9. So if it's in this range, that's AP. So 9. So here's 10. So yep, it should be reading 10. So that's 10 right there. You can see 10. That's 11, 12, 13. It should be through 14. That's 14. So that's where your fingers are reading when you're pressing the button. And then if toggled, AP if toggled. So it should work. I pretty much ported it from the other system. So if toggle HR, the question is what it's reading out on. All right, so let's try something. Just try something pretty simple. So 10 should be reading through the Lewis script to AP pass-through. AP pass-through should be coming from here, sending the 10 to AP pass-through here. Okay, so that should be sending 10 through. Radio receivers there. AP pass-through is here. AP pass-through should be reading 10. And it should be then switching this from the keypad, which is what we start on, the keypads, to the radio. So like you saw that. So when I press HR, it should no longer let me go from the keypad. It should let me go from the radio. And then that should work. Yeah, so let me see what's up. So what I'm going to do here is, do I have space? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Of course, it's a micro I don't have space on. So let's update it. Grab it. So it's going to take a little while. So a little bit of a build and nonsense video, a little bit. Let's go cut this, move this up. Okay, paste you, merge you, increase the size of you. I don't want to break anything. Not that way, go this way. You logic add output. I'm just going to do a light. And then this will now connect to here. So I'm going to see if this is triggering here. If it's triggering the light, then I know it's something else wrong here, but I did copy this off of something else. So, and then what I want to do is okay, let's try this. Let's get a light. That's kind of a quick and dirty and easy way to do this, and it just works usually to kind of show you what you're doing. Light comes on, you know the signal's going through. Light doesn't come on, you know the signal's getting stopped somewhere and causing all sorts of headache. What is that one? Light, FLIR. Okay, FLIR. I haven't hooked up the FLIR. All right, so light is connected. That should work if everything's connected. Electricity is connected. Okay, let's spawn it. So I really didn't want to get into this rigmarole, but I do want to test it out. And so one of the reasons I'm using Proteus is, one, it's my new baby, and two, it has that huge antenna, so we're going huge antenna to huge antenna. Okay, so the signal is going through. The issue is somewhere else, so that's actually a positive sign. So, bingo. All right, Eureka! A light bulb went off to tell me that frickin' crap is working. Okay, so this goes through fine. All right, it's going to numerical switch boxes. So something is up with the radio. Okay, so the radio receiver is most likely where it is anyways. Remember, it's reading 360. The 0 point in the map is around that area. So I'm thinking it's reading the 0 position of the map for that reason. Let's go. I want to clean a little bit here too. This stuff is just so friggin' congested in here. It's tough for me to kind of figure what I'm doing. So let's go ahead. I'm going to kind of pull these a little bit, line them better so that I know what the hell I'm looking at. That's also kind of screwing me up. All right, I think I'm seeing my problem already. They were just so congested, I could not follow the lines. That's one reason I make straight lines. I can follow them. Even if I'm covering what things are, I can see where my lines are, and that is good to me. Okay, so let's see what we're doing here. So this is my radio 1. This is my radio 2. Radio 1 is X. Radio 2 is Y GPS from the station, from that ADF box. All it's doing is sending me the X and Y coordinates of the box. It's sending me the X and Y coordinates of Triton. Whatever X and Y coordinates I want it to send me, it's sending me. So I should be going in here, X to keypad X. Okay. Then you take keypad X and you compare it to GPS X. And then you want to take, where is Keypad Y. Keypad Y is the default one. So that's keypad Y. It's comparing it with GPS Y. That's good. Okay. Then I'm switching my radio. So I'm comparing radio X to GPS X. So the position of the ADF box via the position of my X coordinate of my aircraft. Then I compare the Y coordinate of the ADF box to the Y coordinate of the GPS here. You subtract those, put them through this formula, you get your bearing 2. Okay. The problem now is I'm not seeing my friggin' problem. So that should work. The issue is probably radio receiver. So this is set up in a way that it should work. The issue most likely is these here. So what I'm going to do here next is I'm going to go ahead in here. I'm going to I can actually just add them, seeing this is bigger. Okay, so number output. Okay, so now what I want to do here is this. I want to make sure I'm reading the correct stuff. And so what I'm going to do here is, I don't know where those just appeared, right there. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read, I don't care which one they are right now. So this is one of the two GPS coordinates from the radio. That's the other one. I'm going to update that. I'm going to just take a gauge. Dials actually are fine. I was going to say a gauge because I read them both on one thing, but there's actually it's 2 blocks wide anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Sit. There. Thank you. So, dog prey, thanks for talking to her. There we go. You tell somebody has dogs. Tell their microcontrollers or their dials to sit. All right, so that should hook that up. So all I want to do is be able to read the correct signal and kind of get some notion where the hell this is. And I can actually fly into the shack probably and compare it. All right. All right, so let's put in the freak. What's the freak here? We're at FJ 630 again. $630. All right, so that is currently go HR. Light comes on, and we're reading 00, which is what that's showing. A 00 is that north 0 position. So we are not reading correctly. So something is screwed up between the antenna and, oh my God, it's flying around here. The antenna in there. So let's track our path here. So we have frequency. I shouldn't be feeding this a frequency though, should I? No, I shouldn't be feeding this. No, I need to read the frequency. Sorry, I'm a crazy person here. So maybe I'm not putting in the right frequency. That could be it. So that's a possibility. I'm not feeding the right frequency. It should not be on transmit. It should be on receive, which it is by default. Next option for where this is screwed up is the composite signal here. So I'm receiving data. So the data should be received and come in here and be inputted here to radio receiver. So I'm thinking it could be a frequency send problem. Let's check it. So if I'm not sending it the right frequency, it never reads. Quick test. Let's do this. So I know 630 is that, right? So let's do a constant number. So I kind of like working through some of these problems sometimes. Again, this is how you learn to get better and better and better at this is, practice. So let's go ahead and do 630. So 630 again is FJ Warner's frequency. I'm going to grab that. And instead of plugging in the frequency from there, I'm going to do that. Now, if this reads a different number than the 00 in my dials, we know that it is a frequency problem, and I can leave the composite alone, which would be kind to me, to a little process of elimination here. So let's go ahead and switch to HR. Read these dials. Okay, so it's not a frequency problem, it looks like. So it's most likely a composite problem. All right. Let's do this as well. Okay, so I'm going to verify that it's not a frequency problem, and I'm going to verify it this way. So I'm going to go frequency here is coming back. So frequency is going to come back here to the antenna. This is going to go bye-bye for now. I can always stick it up if I need it. Then what I'm going to do here is I'm also going to take the frequency and I'm going to plug it into, say, this dial right here. And now I'm going to read the frequency. Make sure I have power. I do. Okay. And so what's going to happen is I should read on that dial whatever number I put into my monitor. And if I don't, that's where my issue is. So just doing a little process elimination. Fix one thing at a time. See if you're screwing it up. 0, 0, 1, 11, 110. Okay, so this works fine. So we need to make sure this is actually sending the frequency there. It is. This is sending the frequency through that panel back to us and the antenna. So we know that's correct. So that is not our issue. So I need to connect whatever node that I just disconnected for this. So little process of elimination here. So this one's going to be me all working on this. I'm not going to have time to get into actually flying anywhere, which isn't a big deal. This, I think, was a good way to spend the time, work on Proteus a little bit. So let's go ahead, and I want the other node that I added. This one here goes back to there. So this is just my XYs of my Radio Shack. So that's fine. We're reading the frequency fine. The frequency now goes back to the antenna. Definitely want to double check that. If you disconnect something, want to make sure you reconnect it. Having a composite problem. So likely this is reading the correct stuff and not making it in. So radio receiver is coming in and something is screwed up. So radio receiver comes in. Does that have to be external? I don't think it does, but I will check. So right there, we should be reading 1 and 2. We should be reading the radio frequency. Let's try one more time, and then it's likely not going to work. And then I'm going to put the antenna on the outside. Make sure it's not that. It's hidden in the tail because it flops around, and it's annoying. It's floppy doppy, and I don't want it flopping all where I can see it. As you can see, it's flopping there. Can I get in here without absolutely destroying everything? Ugh. Actually, not. It's shaking a little bit. Frequency is 0. That's fine. Okay, good. Let's go ahead and let's change our frequency here. Okay. 630. I need to make sure I put in the correct frequency again, or else it should be reading 00. 630. Let's check it. I'm going to do one thing at a time there, do it scientifically so I don't end up with, trying to change 3 things and not knowing what change helped or hurt or, could potentially get myself in worse trouble. 630. So the frequency is going in there fine. What it's not doing is reading out the appropriate information to me. So I'm curious what channel I'm supposed to be reading on. I have it as 1 and 2. I think that's probably what it is. That could be the problem right there. Let's do this. Let's pull up. Let's save this. Definitely save. Definitely save. Katie works. Katie was working today. No problem. All right. I want to check. So what I need to check is I need to check the composite going to the antenna here. I need to see what channels it's sending on. So that's sending on radio receiver. Radio receiver comes in. I need to see what this is reading for channels, which I think I copied the microcontroller over. 1 and 2. All right, that would have been an easy fix, but it's not. Okay, 1 and 2 are coming in and doing that. All right, 1 and 2 go in there. All right, so 1 and 2 go there, and then what is this I'm reading out to as well? I'm reading these coordinates out. I don't know why I am. What is the point of me reading out these coordinates? That's kind of my thought here. Because this is start channel 15. That would be 15, 16, 17, 18. I'm reading 15 through 18 numbers out. Don't know what the deal is with that, why I'm even doing that, but it's probably just for utility sake. All right, so radio receiver. Let's double check all my connections on Proteus. Okay. I'm going to quadruple check my stuff here. So you are reading from the radio receiver. You're reading there. Let's yank this out of the tail. The tail is sealed. So potentially this needs to be in a non-sealed volume. I don't know. We're going to check it. Also need to check electricity. Electricity, as you can see, is plugged here. Potentially, it could be an electrical problem. If it's an electrical problem, that's easy peasy lemon squeezy. Let's actually undo this. Let's check electrical problem first. That way I'm not having to find the hole that I stuck this in. Could be an electrical problem. If it's an electrical problem, I'm going to be very upset. Because I actually haven't gone through the string. That's an electrical problem, I think. It is. 100% crap. That's an easy fix that I just screwed all up, man. Okay, so none of this was connected yet. So I connected to a bad node. Stupid me. This happens to everybody. This is why I don't edit this stuff out. Is you see, I have let's look at my time. I have 3,474 hours in game, and this is a mistake I still make constantly. This is one of the reasons why I tend to hook these up system by system, so that I know. People will stick everything, just willy-nilly. I try to do it system by system. So let's go ahead, and I need to find another like system to plug this into. So that's all that's all it appears to be so far. I'm just trying to find a system. It's important to me to connect these to the correct systems, and this is why when I have to decipher a problem, I need to be able to find it. I would like to hook it up to the GPS. I don't know where my GPS is anymore, so that's interesting. Let's find my GPS first, and then that has to be hooked into that system anyway. Compass, GPS Y, there we go. GPS is right here in the center. So I need to find some sort of gauge. I tend to hook all my gauges and or sensors together. So I'm going to go here to, what are you? Heater's not connected to electricity. That would be why my heat's not working either. All right, so you are going to get connected up to a sensor. All right, sensor to sensor. So it's an electrical problem. So you know what? It's a learning experience. It's annoying, but I'm not not mad about it. It's just, it's something that, hey, it happens. It happens to everybody. I'm kind of glad everybody sees that I make these silly, stupid mistakes all the time. And so, you know what? That tells me I need to put it in my cross check a little bit better to do that. I wouldn't say I wasted some time. I relearned some of my systems. You tend to forget how you hook things up, so I went through them, but hopefully you guys didn't feel like I wasted your time forgetting that. So let's check it. All right. See, we're already getting numbers. Because 600 is, where is 600? 600 is the military base. So we're reading the military base. Remember, I can get 40 kilometers on this plane. So actually, let's test that. Next video, I'm going to go into actually transit. You'll see the map's different. I started a new save. I put in some natural disaster stuff. I put in trying to get fires and stuff like that. How many miles? So we are 23 kilometers away from the military island. We have a 40-kilometer range. So we can travel long distance in this. So let's go 1, 2, 3. As you see, the numbers changed, and now this should be showing. Let's switch screens. So if I switch to HR, bingo, light comes on, 101. 101's about right. So it was electricity. I should have checked that first. So again, 3,400 something, almost 3,500 hours, and I still do these things. The learning experience of it is I need to add it to my check. You see how I methodically went through item by item by item? First item should have been electricity. Electricity is one of the first things you should always check. Check the electricity. Then you check each individual composite and that, make sure they're connected. And the one and I thought I connected, you saw I connected it to something. I assumed, which was my problem. You know what they say when you assume. I assumed that system was already connected to electricity. It was not because, I haven't been using my transponder, so I didn't need my transponder stuff, so I never hooked it up, and that was the issue. So what did I just delete that I probably did? Oh, okay, I don't have symmetry on, so I didn't delete anything. All right, so that is good. Set that up. So a little bit of work on Proteus. I would have liked to go do this, but we'll do that in the next video. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.